From brutal gangsters to notorious crime lords, these are the most infamous figures in Mafia history. These men wielded power, influence, and engaged in criminal activities that shocked the world. But who among them takes the crown as the most dangerous Mafia boss of all time? Prepare to step into the dark world of the 5 most dangerous Mafia bosses in history. And along the way, you'll uncover shocking facts about each one that most people have never heard. Number 5. Frank Costello. Frank Costello was known as the Prime Minister of the underworld. This feared mobster controlled vast criminal empires that stretched from coast to coast. But what made him truly dangerous was his ability to influence politics, business, and law enforcement to do his bidding. He had the power to make or break careers, all while remaining hidden in the shadows. He was so powerful that he was said to have controlled the very fabric of society. His influence was so pervasive that it was impossible to escape his grasp. But how did he do it? Well, that's the thing. No one was quite sure. That was part of what made him so terrifying. It was rumored that he had a direct line to the Oval Office, as well as to judges and police officers all over the country. He was able to fix trials, intimidate witnesses, and even control elections. Number 4. Lucky Luciano. Lucky Luciano was the man who organized the American Mafia into a powerful nationwide network. He was born in Italy, but immigrated to the United States, where he quickly rose through the ranks of the mob. He was a ruthless killer who wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty, but he was also a brilliant strategist who knew how to manipulate people into doing his bidding. One of his most significant contributions to the Mafia was the creation of the Commission, a governing body that would oversee the activities of the 5 crime families in the United States. He also established a code of silence that members of the Mafia were expected to abide by. This code of silence made it nearly impossible for law enforcement to infiltrate the organization or prosecute its members. Despite his many accomplishments, Luciano was eventually arrested and sentenced to 50 years in prison. However, he was released early in 1946 after serving only 14 years. It was rumored that he had helped the US government during World War II in exchange for a reduced sentence. Number 3. John Gotti. John Gotti was known as the Teflon Don. He was a notorious mobster who evaded prosecution for years due to his flamboyant lifestyle and media attention. He was known for his flashy suits, expensive cars, and lavish parties. He was also incredibly charismatic and was able to manipulate the media to portray him as a Robin Hood figure. Despite his public image, Gotti was a ruthless killer who was involved in a wide range of criminal activities, including racketeering, extortion, and drug trafficking. He was the boss of the Gambino crime family and was said to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. However, Gotti's reign of power came to an end. When he was arrested in 1990 and convicted of racketeering and conspiracy charges, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Many people believe that Gotti was actually innocent and that he was set up by the government. However, there is no evidence to support this claim. Number 2. Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar was a Colombian drug lord who was the head of the Medellin cartel. He was one of the richest men in the world, and his net worth was estimated to be in the billions of dollars. Escobar was responsible for the deaths of thousands of people, including hundreds of law enforcement officers and politicians. He was also involved in a number of high-profile kidnappings and extortion schemes. Despite his brutal reputation, Escobar was a folk hero to many people in Colombia. He was known for his lavish spending in poor neighborhoods, and he was also responsible for building a number of schools and hospitals in these areas. However, Escobar's reign of terror came to an end when he was killed by Colombian authorities in 1993. He was shot dead on a rooftop as he tried to flee. Number 1. Al Capone. Al Capone is probably the most infamous crime boss in history. During the Prohibition era in the United States, he was the boss of the Chicago Outfit, a criminal organization that dominated the city's illegal alcohol, gambling, and prostitution industries. Capone was a ruthless killer who was involved in some of the most brutal crimes of his time. He was also a shrewd businessman who built a criminal empire that was worth millions of dollars. Despite his many accomplishments, Capone was eventually arrested and convicted of tax evasion in 1931. He was sentenced to 11 years in prison, but was released early in 1939 due to poor health. Capone spent his remaining days running a casino and a bar in Florida. He died in 1947 at the age of 48. Which boss do you think was the deadliest? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more shocking historical stories.